On June 25, 1950, at 4 a.m., North Korea invades South Korea. The North quickly captures Seoul, the South Korean capital. Many citizens abandon their homes to find refuge in the southern part of the peninsula, where the South's army and some U.S. military hold the fort near Busan. A few days later, 63 members of the United Nations decide to stand with South Korea and 16 countries, sending troops to defend the free and democratic half of the peninsula. Amid the international support, more South Koreans sign up for the military to play their part in the war. Thousands of inexperienced young men have been trained by battle-seasoned American and Korean soldiers and turned into a smooth, well-drilled modern army equipped with American weapons. After bringing in reinforcements, UN and Korean forces carry out an operation that changes the course of the conflict. Led by General Douglas MacArthur, the forces land at Incheon, taking the port city near Seoul and dividing the North's military. The UN forces push on towards the Chinese border, almost ending the war, but then in October 1950, China joins the war on the north side. The South and the UN forces are forced to retreat and evacuate more than 10,000 refugees from the city of Hunnam. In 1953, after several years of fighting, an armistice is finally signed, but to this day, the war has not officially ended. Nearly 140,000 South Koreans died, along with around 40,000 UN troops, of which 36,000 were from the U.S.
Military strength in South Korea and North Korea. South Korea. Active personnel approximately 600,000 full-time service members. Reserve personnel around 3,100,000 trained individuals ready to be mobilized. Paramilitary forces, an additional 120,000 personnel support internal security and civil defense roles, according to worldpopulationview.com. North Korea. Active military personnel approximately 1,200,000 AD. Reserve personnel around 600,000. Paramilitary forces, an estimated 5,700,000, including units like the Workers of Peasant Red Guards and other civil defense groups. That brings the total military-related personnel to roughly 7.58 million strong, according to worldpopulationview.com. Artillery in South Korea and North Korea. South Korea around 5,600 pieces. This includes towed artillery, self-propelled artillery, and rocket artillery. South Korea's artillery forces is the second largest in the world, after North Korea. Towed artillery, 4,400 towed artillery pieces. Self-propelled artillery. They also have around 3,300 self-propelled artillery systems. South Korea utilizes 2,408 rocket artillery systems. Their ammunition size is 105 mm ammunition, according to the Modern War Institute. North Korea. Around 8,600 towed and self-propelled artillery pieces, 5,500 multiple rocket launcher systems, and 7,500 mortars, according to the International Institute for Strategic Studies. Tanks. South Korea approximately 2,300 tanks, according to the Wikipedia article. This includes the K1, K1A1, K2 Black Panther, which forms the core of their mechanized forces. According to the military Wikipedia, the K1 and K1A1 tanks are undergoing upgrade to the K1E1, K1A2 standards. The K2 Black Panther is the latest main battle tank in service, according to Wikipedia. North Korea, around 5,845 tanks, making it one of the most heavily armored nations in the world. This includes T-34, T-55, the older Soviet-era models, still in limited use, Cheonmaho and Pokpunho, indigenous North Korean designs based on Soviet platforms, according to worldpopulationview.com. Fighter planes. South Korea approximately have 414 fighter aircraft in active service. KF-5E, 138 units. KF-16, 118 units. FA-50, 60 units. F-15K Slam Eagle, 59 units. F-35A Lightning II, 39 units, according to the WDMMA.org. North Korea, 220 fighter aircraft in active service. These include MiG-29, North Korea's most modern fighters. So it's a limited number, about 18 units. MiG-23s, MiG-21s, other Soviet-era jets still in use. J-5, 6, and F-7 Chinese variant of Soviet designs. Su-7s and Su-25s used for ground attack roles. According to the WDMMA.org. Okay. Navy strength. South Korea, 90 combatant ships, 17 amphibious warfare ships, 14 main warfare ships, 21 auxiliary ships, 21 submarines, according to Wikipedia.com. North Korea, 60,000 personnel, 70 submarines, 420 gunboats, 260 amphibious landing craft, 30 mine warfare vessels, and 30 support ships, according to Wikipedia.org. Number of nuclears in South and North Korea. South Korea, none. North Korea, up to 10 currently, and potentially have around 50 within decades, according to US intelligence. During the Korean War, approximately 2 to 3 million civilians lost their lives, but the Second Korean War expecting to be higher, much higher, double or triple, because it's a modern war era, and most likely North Korea will use nuclear bomb. It can devastating the cities like Nagasaki or Hiroshima during the World War II. If North Korea starts attacking South Korea, then China must enter Korean War, because North Korea is their shield. It's like their front lines. If their front lines collapse, then they eventually knew it's their turn, so they have to jumping in. Same with China. If China attacking Taiwan, North Korea definitely will entering the war attacking South Korea, because China is the backbone of North Korea. But there is no either maybe or anything like that. They have to helping each other. Same with South Korea. I mean, South Korea is a different story. For South Korea allies, the U.S. is their main bread giver. U.S. is the mainly they protecting them financially providers. If United States fall out, then South Korea they have stand no chance against North Korea and China. And Japan will definitely entering if United States entering the war. And if United States entering the war, then Japan jumping in, and then NATO countries are jumping in. Then Russia, China, and then they eventually have the jumping in. And if that case, then whoever using the nuclear bomb first will ignite the nuclear war. But most likely, North Korea will definitely igniting the nuclear war, because they have no economical strength and manpower, much as they back in the 1950s. 1950s, they able to do that because that time some of the North Koreans believe that Kim Il Sung was able to giving them like a good lifestyle. That's why he able to deceive many people, but not anymore. Kim Jong Un has to pay for his grandfather's sin and his father's sin, so he has no stand chance to deceiving peoples. Economical issues. South Korea and North Korea mainly suffered the most, and NATO countries and other neighbor countries will gain economical power. During the Korean War, the Japan helped the most, and they gained so much because they provided ammunition, weapons. Same with during the Vietnamese War, like South Korea, President Park Chung-hee, he sent the troops to gain some economical power through the war. So war is, it can be good, it can be bad, but whichever start the war and wherever is that, will suffer the most. So if the war starts, then South Korea, North Korea, they decimated. They both lose. Well, there is no winner. The war killing people. And who is suffer the most? The civilians. I'm sure some people will say, how could you say that? The communists will lose. Yes, I wish. But does that mean like a communist, all the communists will die and then no other people from South or the democracy, people from democracy will not die? No, it's not like that. War only leaving the bad memories, heart aching, lose, devastation. That's all. War starts because of a couple of bad apples, just like Nazi Hitler. The Hitler followers, just like the bad ones. It's not because of the civilians, and civilians pay the high price.